Hey, it's Matt Saunders from the Freelance Business Builder. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the difference between being functional and strategic when it comes to your work. But first of all, I'm going to ask you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. I'm all about lifting up the people and the projects within the freelance sector so we can all do better work for better clients. So what is the difference between being strategic and being functional when it comes to being a freelancer? Now, for many years, I didn't know that there was a distinction to be made here. I thought you were a freelancer and you just showed up and did your work, and that was that. But actually, the way that you manage those freelance projects can be broadly categorized by being functional and being strategic. And what I mean by that is a functional person will show up with their job role hat on. So if you're a website developer, you will be very, very focused purely on the service that you deliver in terms of website development. When you first talk to a prospect and that prospect becomes a client, and throughout that whole relationship, you will be serving that client as a functional tool, a gun for hire, somebody who's going to get the job done in a very, very specific and focused way. If you are, however, more strategic in your thinking, you have the capacity to step back and look at the bigger picture, see where you sit in that picture and how you can influence the different dynamics that are happening in that project. So if you're a functional website developer, you would be very task-oriented. You would be deferring to the client for instruction and direction on the specific tasks that you carry out. Now, this is where I spent a lot of my time in the early days of my career. The problem was I was quite opinionated. So I actually had a restlessness about me, a desire to be more strategic and to have input on the wider project, but I didn't have the skill set to do that. Like, I didn't know how to actually communicate that to the client. So that's where tensions arise. If a client sees you as someone who is functional, who's going to carry out their requirements to their specifications, but you're actually somebody who wants to talk about the scope of the project and the bigger picture, there's a jarring there, there's a conflict. So where you sit on the scale, and I always do this as a scale, on one side you have functional, see that? On one side you have functional people here, and they are task-oriented, they're going to get very specific job done. And on this end of the scale, you have strategic people who are more about management, they're more about people, relationship building, and the bigger picture. We all sit somewhere on that scale. And I think it's important for you to know where you personally, first of all, currently sit on that scale. And secondly, where you want to sit on that scale. I wanted to be more strategic, but I didn't have the confidence and I didn't have the ability to manage the client or the relationship to such a degree where I could be a strategic partner. So I was often hemmed into a very functional role when I didn't really want to be there. I'm not saying it's right or wrong to be functional or good or bad to be strategic. I'm just saying that these dynamics play out in all sorts of relationships, in all projects. So take the time now after you've watched this video, go for a walk, write down on a bit of paper, whatever helps you to reflect. Think about where you are on that functional strategic scale, and then think about where you want to be. Once you've done that, the next question to ask yourself is, how do I get there? If I want to be more strategic, what are the steps that I need to take? Who do I need to become in order to be seen as and to deliver as a strategic partner in the projects that I work on? So hopefully this video was helpful. It's a little bit more psychological than my usual videos on here, but hopefully it's got you thinking. If you liked the video, then click like on the video. If you didn't like the video, feel free to hit the dislike button, but leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve these videos. And of course, If you do like the video and you like some of my other stuff, do take a moment to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next one.